When Herschel Walker signed into the United States Football League in 1983, he immediately became the merchandising peg. Everywhere he traveled, there was noise. But he was lame, and he became a target for the cynics and knockers. In 1985, he is no longer wounded. His aching shoulders have been repaired, and he has run the football with power few knew he possessed. The speed was always there. Witness this 88-yard dash. Though still a victim of comparison, Walker has continued with his old abandon, passing Eric Dickerson's NFL record with this run. And after 17 games, Herschel Walker is just 162 yards short of 2,500 yards in a single season. Today, Herschel runs against the only team which has stopped him. As ABC Sports presents... the final week of the USFL regular season. The game to decide the Eastern Conference Championship between the Birmingham Stallions and the New Jersey Generals. On this summer afternoon in East Rutherford, New Jersey is quite pleasant. 78 degrees, probably going to the low 80s. The humidity is tolerable. There's very little wind for today's matchup at Giant Stadium between Birmingham and New Jersey. And from this game will come the Eastern Conference champion. A look at the Western Conference standings now to give you some idea of where we are in this final week. Oakland has clinched the championship out west. Denver and Houston clinched playoff spots. And Oakland goes to Houston for a game Monday night. In the Eastern Conference, it's a little more exciting. This game will determine the championship. The winner to have home field advantage. And in each instance, home field advantage will have some meaning. A game last night, Memphis 38, Arizona 28, and Memphis finishes at 11-7. The Generals have won 8 straight at home this season, 13 in a row, stretching back to last year. They are 3-6 on the road this year. The Stallions, 8-1 at home and 4-4 on the road, so you can see that both teams like to play at home. And both teams are coming off a loss for today's game. Birmingham losing to Tampa Bay and New Jersey to Oakland. And let's talk about the man Walker. So much has been made of Herschel now, who is having a marvelous season, but he's gained in 3 games only 77 yards against Birmingham.
Well, the man is still the key to victory for the New Jersey Generals. He's having a terrific season, working on his 11th consecutive game. And as you can see there by that graphic, Birmingham has done a great job of stopping him. 77 yards in 3 ball games. In the last ball game, you see only 5 rushes. Well, one of the reasons he only had the 5 rushes is because they were trying to feature Doug Flutie a little bit more in that attack. Birmingham held the ball for 44 minutes in that ball game, and of course, the New Jersey Generals felt they had to pass the ball to catch up. They were playing from behind.
Well, now we expect, I would think, at least I do, in this ball game, a rough ball game. I think it'll be physically tough.
It is going to be a physically tough ball game. We have Herschel Walker with all his great statistics in season going against the #1 defense in the USFL coming into the last weekend of play. The Birmingham Stallions are #1 across the board in the run and against the pass. And for Herschel, is maybe his best yardstick of how well he has progressed in his 3 years of the USFL. If he can have a 100-yard plus ball game this afternoon, it'll be a feather in his cap and take away some of the detractors he's had this week after going over 2,000 yards.
Now, you'll find, I think, some degree of momentum will go to the team that wins the ball game, wouldn't you?
A great degree.
Yeah.
They're going to go into the playoffs with a good attitude. They want to set the stage for the playoffs should these two teams have to meet again. Now, I've heard Red Auerbach and Bill Russell, when they talked about basketball and the great Celtics matchups, they always said when we play the great basketball teams, we want to get it in their minds that when the playoffs come down, they're going to lose. Get it fixed in their head. It's the same attitude this afternoon.
Well, there's no Doug Flutie for Birmingham's defensive people to worry about today. None of that kind of scrambling. Instead, there is Reeves. Ron Reeves will be at quarterback for New Jersey, and Raleigh Dutch must have some comments about that. Let's turn to him now as he talks with Tim Brandt.
And I'm going to ask you about Ron Reeves right off the bat because he is a more conventional quarterback than is Doug Flutie, and you got the #1 defense. Does it make a difference?
Well, Tim, it does a little bit. I think with Flutie, you're more concerned with containment on the bootleg and the rollout stuff, thereby maybe opening up some running lanes for Herschel Walker. We've been successful in the past in trying to funnel Herschel to the outside. That's what we're going to try to do today and make him run to the boundary.
Okay, now the other side now, when you're on offense, they've got a pass defense that's right near the bottom. You're at the top. You've got the second-rated passer. Do you pass more?
Well, that'll remain, Tim. I don't really know. I know we got to establish the run. You know me, I'm kind of an old-fashioned. But I do know this. We have to have balance if we're going to win. We got to be able to run and pass.
I understand before you left Birmingham, you gave one of your all-time talks, the best ever. Is this team ready?
This team's ready, Tim.
All right. Thank you, Raleigh. Keith?
Okay, Timmy, I would only add this point insofar as Raleigh's comments are concerned that Birmingham last week against Tampa Bay played a terrible ball game. There were 5 turnovers, 9 penalties, and 2 missed field goals, and that's going to add up to a loss against almost anybody. And Birmingham last week in the ball game against Tampa Bay was looking at an opportunity to clinch the Eastern Conference Championship, and they just frittered it away. So I would imagine he landed some oratory on their necks.
I think so. I think the team just went in flat, Keith. They thought they were going to win this ball game. Everything was going in their favor, and as a result of that loss and having to play in this game for the Eastern Conference Championship, they can't afford to relax, to take a break. They have to come after and play it hard.
Ruzek will kick off for New Jersey. Birmingham will have the first offensive possession with number 82, Larry Douglas, and number 80, Thad McFadden, the deep people. McFadden, 80, a rookie out of Wisconsin, and Douglas is out of Southern University. Both of them very quick.
Douglas played for the Steelers. He's got speed to burn, Keith.
It goes toward McFadden, who drops it, picks it up at the 20, and out fumbles it again at about the 24. Big fight for it. The fight breaks out to start the ball game. Penalty flags are thrown now, and I think that he was able to get the ball back. Looked like McFadden followed the loose football, and lo and behold, the tone has been set in the opening seconds of the ball game. I think there will be many instances today where pride and character will produce anger.
It usually does in a football game, Keith.
The officials are discussing it now, trying to decide what they want to do as a result of the penalty.
I think they'll just call it offsetting penalties. 75. Call the ball to the Birmingham Stallions. I believe they did recover it.
Ken Humphrey is the referee.
Just get underway with the ball game.
I'm not even sure they're going to mess with it. Just wave it off and go.
Personal foul. Kicking team, number 75. First down.
That was Mattias, Frank Mattias, the nose tackle for the New Jersey Generals.
The offensive alignment for the Stallions as they come up now, getting good field position on the personal foul call against Mattias. Stout is your quarterback, top rated in the Eastern Conference. Joe Cribbs has not had a good year. Longest run, 28 yards. Joel Coles is blossoming and getting stronger as the weeks go by. Joey Jones and Jim Smith are the wide receivers, and Jimmy is on a record pace. McKinley, Turner, Battaglia, Saindon, Phoenix. Adelette is still not available. They hope to have him back possibly next week. Stout turns and gives to Cribbs on the first play from the 39-yard line, and Joe gets about 3, maybe 4 yards. One of the interesting things on that particular play, Lynn Swan, was that Joel Coles had come in and picked off the free safety. He took him and put him on his back. So that's Coles' fundamental objective, is to get him out of the play. Lockett, Woodland, Byrne, the 3-down linemen, with Weddington, Joyce, Ball, and Leopold, the backers. In the secondary, a tough one of Justin, Gregory Johnson, John Preston, and Jerry Holmes. On second down and 7, they take it inside. Joe Cribbs carries the ball just over the 45.
That time, Keith, they had number 89, Robin Earl, who was a backup tight end, who came in to replace Coles at the fullback position for a little extra meat in there on the blocking line.
And Birmingham will be looking at 3rd down and 4 now as they make offensive changes, getting Ken Toller, an extra wide receiver, into the ball game. And New Jersey changes defensively by going to a 6th defensive back.
4-man.
On 3rd and 4, Stout's first pass, pressure from the backside, is picked off. The pass is underthrown, intended for Joe Cribbs, and it'll bring in the punting team. Bob Parsons, the punter for the Birmingham Stallions. His history, and it's a long one. He was in the NFL for 11 years, now over here, and Bobby has a tendency to hang it very high, and can kill it deep oftentimes. Here's the pass thrown behind Cribbs. It was nowhere near it. Joe had no chance at it. And so Parsons is in, and Danny Knight is deep to receive the punt. Temperature's around 80 degrees now. And a pretty good crowd to watch it. Pressure's on. He gets it out of there. It's a good high-hanging kick inside the 10-yard line. Knight takes it at the 5. Cuts to the sidelines and finds a hole. And comes back to the 30. Fumbles the football. And Birmingham's got it, I think. Nope, they don't give it to him. A New Jersey man came diving in, Donnell Daniel out of Southern Illinois, and saves the day for the Generals, at least this early.
They had a couple of shots at it. When you punt the football, most kids are taught not to return the punt if it comes inside the 10-yard line. Danny Knight takes the chance, ends up getting some very good blocks. He's put on a few pounds, Pete, so I think he has a little more added strength when he's running, and right there he coughs it up. You see the scramble. No one quite knows where the ball is going to bounce. Birmingham gets a shot, so after 2 exchanges of the football, almost 2 turnovers, still a scoreless ball game, 13:02 in the first quarter.
Ron Reeves out of Texas Tech goes at quarterback. Doug Flutie will not be back today nor next week, according to Walt Michaels. Herschel Walker, Maurice Carthen, the setbacks with Broughton, Collins, the wide people. Sam Bowers, the tight end, with Mackey, Stroth, Hall, Harris, and Maggs, the big guys up front. And it's first down for the Generals on their first possession from their 34-yard line. Ball goes to who else? And Herschel, weaving around, finds his way from the 34 to the 39 for 5 yards. The defensive alignment for the Birmingham Stallions will go this way. Purifoy, Klein, Smith, and Furco, the 4-down linemen. They open with a 4-3 with Spencer, Rowe, Kelly, the backers, and Rowe particularly effective. Woodbury, Clinton with 16 interceptions, David Umars and David Evans, and that secondary will knock your head off. Double tight end now for New Jersey. Ball goes outside with Carthen, and Carthen is caught and nailed right at the line of scrimmage. And I mean, he was stopped on a solid tackle by Ken Kelly, 225-pounder out of Penn State. He came down from the Chicago Blitz. In the overall statistical story of Walker, Herschel needs 191 yards to total 3,000 running and catching, both. That's a bunch. Ball is on the 39, where it is 3rd down and 5. And Reeves is back to throw. Passes away in the middle. Pass is drilled into Sam Bowers, and it's a first down for the Generals at the Birmingham 35. And that's a confidence builder for Reeves.
Ron Reeves, very impressive on his first pass of the ball game. He set well in the pocket. He's going to get some pressure from the outside. But as a pure drop-back passer, he's taught to stay in that pocket. He stays in there, finds a big tight end coming across the middle, and Sam Bowers is having an excellent year. Has a little bit of a problem maintaining his balance, but he picks up the first down, and he will be a key figure for the offense throughout the afternoon, Sam Bowers.
Reeves to Walker. He's slowed in behind in the secondary as number 69, Mike Furco, big guy out of Utah State, made the penetration, and then Kelly came up to wrestle him down. So there's no gain, in fact, a loss of a half a yard or so on the play, but it was Furco who slowed him down.
One of the keys to stopping Herschel Walker from having a big day is to, number one, get penetration by your defensive line, stop him before he turns up the field. The defensive line did a very good job of it that time, taking on Maurice Carthen, not letting him get out to be a lead blocker, and stopping Herschel before his shoulders were turned upfield.
Reeves to throw. A lot of protection. Passes away. Incomplete, intended for Walter Broughton. And Broughton had gotten away from Woodbury. Woodbury goes down. No, not Woodbury. It's Chuck Clinton goes down in a heap and gets up holding his left shoulder or left arm, but apparently is all right.
Walter Broughton almost makes a great catch here, Keith, as he's coming across the ball. It's way too high, but you see him right there. He pulls it in, stops it with his left hand, but before he can bring his right hand over to gain control of the ball, it slips away from him.
Credit the offensive front with a great job for Reeves that time. They gave him a week to throw the ball. 3rd down and long.
28.
They're blitzing this time. Reeves steps up away from the blitz and gets his pass off for Clarence Collins, and he makes the catch at the 9-yard line in front of David Evans. Ron Reeves threw sort of a wounded goose out there, but Collins turned back to it and was able to step in front of Evans to make the catch.
Look at the pressure coming in on the blitz, but more important, look at the offensive line. They picked up everybody in the blitz. A linebacker decides to come in late. It's Herbie Spencer. He forgoes his pass coverage when he sees no one coming out, lays a lick on Reeves. Reeves has a receiver pinned to the sideline. Collins makes a great adjustment to turn around and make the catch.
It's first and goal, Generals at the Birmingham 9. Walker hit hard at the 11. Doug Smith, 6'5", a 300-pound rookie from Auburn. He wants to be a fishing boat owner.
Well, Doug Smith, keep playing football hard. The playoffs are right around the corner. It'll be a while before you get a chance to go out there and bait the hook.
He needs the money. Birmingham Stallions play tough defense. Second down and goal from the 11. A loss of about 2 yards on that last carry on the penetration by Smith. This time Walker goes in motion as a pass receiver. The pass is thrown down the middle to Speck, the tight end. And Jeff Speck fights his way down to the 2. A determined effort. Chuck Clanton had a hold of him, a 5'11", 195-pounder. Speck is 6'3" and 240.
Well, Chuck Clanton's forte is picking off passes, not taking on big tight ends and dragging them down in one-on-one situations. Jeff Speck has had a very good year for the Generals, playing behind Sam Bowers, but he started several ball games for them in 1984, so he's a very experienced tight end for him. There you get a chance to see some of the fight in this young man.
Herschel came in and butted a guy off the stack himself. Flutie keeping the clipboard. We'll talk to him at halftime. Third down and goal from the 2. 465. Herschel looking to go the top. Birmingham stunts and stacks, and they've got him well short.
Now, this has been a typical drive for the New Jersey Generals in 1985. Running the football, using up the clock, going the length of the field. They're stopped that time with Herschel Walker not being able to get up in the air and go over the top. Sets up a field goal position, but if they make it, they will have drawn first blood in this football game.
Ruzek tees it up just beyond the 10. Partridge holds. 20-yard field goal try by Roger Ruzek. Bad. Well, the snap looked all right. Partridge had trouble getting it down, but finally righted it just in time for Ruzek to hit it, and it's good. 7:52 to play in the first quarter, and the Generals go to the lead 3-0. Well, Ron Reeves did his job. He took them to a first and goal inside the 10. They wound up with 3 points. And the Generals lead 3-0 as Ruzek will kick off now to Birmingham's McFadden and Douglas. Goes toward McFadden, but he's going to let this one go into the end zone. It'll be Birmingham's ball. First down at the 20. Thad had a lot of trouble handling the football the last time. That was well into the end zone. He did not make an effort at it. Other games that have been completed in this final week. Orlando defeated Los Angeles 17-10 Friday night, a big night for Reggie Collier. And last night, in a game that had some meaning, the Memphis Showboats defeated Arizona by 10, 38-28, as Mike Kelly had a big night. And another game underway this afternoon, Jacksonville out to a 7-0 lead over Denver at Jacksonville in the first quarter. Cliff Stout rolling out, going to pull it down and slides his way up to the 27. Virtually all the games today involving the 8 playoff teams will have some meaning because it will determine who plays where and against whom or which team. We do know the home teams, and the home teams, the way the thing is structured now, would be Oakland, Birmingham, New Jersey, and Memphis in the first round. But which teams go where, we don't know, and won't until the games are concluded. And actually, the Houston-Oakland game tomorrow night will have some meaning. It's second down and 3. Ball goes inside with Joel Coles carrying, and Coles is out to the 30 and looks to have a first down for Birmingham. Robin Earl, big tight end, was a running back at the University of Washington in his collegiate days, then moved over to the tight end position as he went to the Chicago Bears and was there for 7 years.
He came in and replaced the running back, Joe Kroll, so they have 2 tight ends in the ballgame.
And he goes to Cribbs and a hole up the middle for Joe, and he's got 6. Joe Cribbs' longest run this season, 28 yards, and he is short of 1,000, which for Joe Cribbs is not a very good season.
Well, Joe's been banged up a little bit, or a lot actually, throughout the entire season. I talked to him in the locker room before the game, and he said he was feeling okay. He feels like he's getting his strength back, and at the right time of the year. And for all those people who have played football or have gotten into the playoffs, you know that just means he's ready to get into the playoffs to make his best effort of the year.
He needs 20 more for 1,000. Stout is back to throw on second down and 4 to the sidelines. Ken Toller. The Ole Miss Rebel gets it inside the 45 of New Jersey. They'll mark him at the 44. Jerry Holmes brought him down. That's a pretty good matchup, Toller and Holmes.
That's a pretty good matchup. Jerry Holmes, an outstanding cornerback. He'll play a tough man-to-man coverage. He likes to come up in the bump and run. At that time, as he played bump and run, Toller just drove him down the field after he had his back turned, stopped, and came back to the football. Birmingham Stallions are now playing 3 wide receivers in the ball game, switching Coles with Earl as a tight end, but they're lining up in the backfield.
Well, they put Earl in there at a running back position, and in effect he becomes a blocking back. And that time was a perfect example of why they do it, because Earl comes in at 240 pounds, and he just simply pulled out, went right in front of Joe Cribbs, and he got a piece of a man, but not enough of it to make the play really sing for Birmingham. They picked up about 4 yards.
Well, he'll come out and block as a good fullback, Keith. But as we saw Joe Coles in the first series, he can also line up at a close flanker position as a wingback. In essence, if he were to do that, you'd have 4 receivers in the ball game in a one-back offensive formation.
Coles is back in, fullback. Out on second down and about 5, pulls it down and takes off. Looks for the marker, goes for it and gets it. I don't think they're going to give it to him, though.
Well, they should give it to him. He was hit. He lunged forward. Looked like he lunged forward enough to get the first down, but
nope, they don't give it to him.
They do mark him just short. Cliff Stout's a big quarterback. He's not afraid to run the football. He comes in this ball game 6'4", 215 pounds, 28 years old. And watch Jimmy Smith right here make the block on Preston to give him some room. He's hit right here by Jerry Holmes, and he lunges forward. That should be a first down, Keith. He's on the other side of the white stripe.
Battaglia, the center, has a microphone. You'll hear him calling the offensive line blocking as Cliff Stout calls the play. And the ball goes to Cribbs, and Cribbs just slashes into the middle and picks up the first down. On third down, the Birmingham Stallions have an excellent 41% average over the season.
These two teams, Birmingham and New Jersey, on the offense are quite similar. Both love to run the football, but like to establish the ground game. You see there Joe Cribbs doing the bulk of the work here in this drive. Eat up the clock and just play conservative football. But because the running game has not been the greatest portion of their offense this year, or efficient as they like it to be, they've had to go to the air much more in 1985.
On the first down from the 34, this is Cribbs. Joe searches a little bit, then sees some daylight and turns on the jets, and he's across the 30-yard line. He picked up at least 4 on the carry.
A couple of national television get-well cards for Doug Flutie.
I thought Reeves was impressive, however. And we'll visit with Doug Flutie at halftime. He's coming up to say howdy. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the first quarter.
The effervescent Walt Michaels.
Second down, 6. Cribbs has it. And picks 3 out of that lunge. And the big guy in the bottom of the stack is number 71, Tom Woodland. Second-year man out of Missouri. Plays nose tackle. along with Frank Mattias. Emmanuel Weaver out of South Carolina had moved into that position when Tom got hurt, and now Weaver is banged up.
Tom came back. He's been playing in the last 4 games. He's been real antsy throughout the middle of this football season, waiting to get back in the ball game. That's an advantage for the New Jersey Generals because he should be very fresh, Keith. Strong, not banged up.
It's 3rd down and about 4. As Cliff Stout rolls, keeps, and is short of the first down. It looked like Mason, the tight end, was going to break loose for a moment and give Stout a chance to hit him, but he got tangled up, and Stout had to pull it down and run it. And now this will bring in the place kicker for the Birmingham Stallions, Danny Miller. Danny Miller, who is at 53 yards, his longest effort of the season. He scored 106 points. And he puts the tee down just a shade inside the 34. So this is what amounts to a 44-yard field goal try at 1:46 to go in the first quarter. Bob Lane puts it down, and Miller hooked it. No good. He had enough leg, but he missed left. And so the Birmingham Stallions, after a pretty good march, turned away, and the Generals lead it 3-0. The New Jersey Generals, the leading rushing offense, averaging, as you see, almost 216 yards per game, while the Birmingham Stallions are the top defensive team against the run. And so far in the game, the rushing edge belongs to Birmingham, but New Jersey leads 3-0.
458!
From the 21, Herschel Walker. You don't think he isn't tough? I don't care what league he's playing in. That's a tough run.
That is a tough run. He carried number 26, David Evans, for 7 yards after Evans had made contact in an attempted tackle of Herschel Walker one-on-one. And there aren't many defensive backs in this league that I've seen that can handle him one-on-one. Of course, one of those guys is Mosey Cade down in Memphis, who's a great one at cornerback. But right here, you see, he's missed in the backfield. He gets his shoulders turned upfield. Now watch him just run down the field, carrying Evans. Evans can't slow him down. It's like grabbing the wrong part of a wild bull.
He moved the football out to the 42-yard line, and he's going again. Got a good block from Carthen, and the gain is out to the 47. Jackie Klein brought him down for the Stallions. During Herschel's career, the University, the way that Southeastern Conference, they don't play the round robin down there. In Birmingham or Athens, really never had the pleasure of seeing the Red Elephants and the Bulldogs get together when Herschel was down there. They don't play each other every year, though they will this year as Georgia-Alabama opens our college football coverage for you Labor Day night. So the first quarter is done. A very swift first quarter. And the New Jersey Generals at home, where they have not lost this season, lead Birmingham 3-0. The football is just short of the 47-yard line on New Jersey's side of the field. The Generals have a 2nd down and 5. Ron Reeves at quarterback, Carthen and Walker with a double tight end alignment as Walker goes now to the I-back position. And he's got it. 2 good blocks, turn the corner, 1st down General. He needed 162 yards coming into this game to reach 2,500. He may very well get it.
And this is a kind of formation that is understandable for the New Jersey Generals. You know they're going to run the football. You put in 2 tight ends. You make sure that you don't have a weak side of the field in which you have to run to. Give the ball to Herschel Walker and let him go. Didn't say try and stop him. The offensive line is doing a great job making contact, opening up holes.
1st down from the Birmingham 43. Reeves on 1st down to put it up. Tries to throw it down the middle where Walter Broughton was opening up, but he couldn't get enough zip on it. He was off balance.
Well, there you see the difference in Reeves and Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie's arm is just as strong when he rolls out. Reeves, a drop-back passer, doesn't have the same kind of arm strength to throw off the bad foot and then throw back across the field. He had a receiver that was open, just barely open, and the number 56, Ken Kelly, was closing in.
Well, he tried to throw one like that last week against Oakland, and McKeever took it the rest of the way the other way for a touchdown. Not a good pass to throw.
Not for his arm. Not in that situation.
2nd down and 10. Walker bounces outside and has the first down without taking any punishment.
At this stage of the game, that's of the season, that's very important to Walker. I had mentioned when they had played Denver that Herschel Walker was, carrying this offensive team running, and that Walt Michaels didn't want to have to play him the whole ball game, pull him out, give him some kind of a break because he had been running so much and so hard. Thought he might tire himself out. But Keith, was I ever wrong? This man only seems to have gotten stronger throughout this entire season. The more he carries the ball, the better he seems to get.
He's always been like that. He's like juice. 4th quarter. Dynamite. Reeves looking. Sideline. Incomplete. Pass intended for Sam Bowers, and it was not well thrown. Reeves had good protection that time, and I thought threw before he had to throw.
He didn't take a deep drop. He's looking around. It was intended to be a quick pass. Primary receiver was covered, so he went right away to secondary receiver, Sam Bowers, on that particular play, and really threw the ball out of Sam's reach.
Baltimore is out to a 10-0 lead over Tampa Bay in the 2nd quarter. That has some meaning if which team goes where in the playoff. Walker again on 2nd down and 10, going to the outside, and a lot of folks waiting for him on that one. And they're able to bring him down, but not before he picks up about 5 yards. There's the Baltimore score. And Jacksonville is out to a 14-3 lead over Denver now in the 1st quarter as Mike Rozier has scored his 2nd touchdown. The 2nd one, the 34-yard run.
We were talking about Herschel Walker and not having great games against the Stallions, and the first game this year only carrying 5 times for very few yards. He has carried 5 times for 48 yards in the ball game so far, Keith.
On 3rd and 5.
Or excuse me, in his last 5 carries.
Reeves dumps it to Walker, and Herschel is dumped for a loss and fumbles the football. And Birmingham gets it. Robert Gentry out of Kansas, the man that knocked it loose. And so they put him out there in a position, I would say this, that it really is not the man's fault that he couldn't hold on to it. He's out there all by himself, and I mean, there are headhunters looking for it.
Yeah, that's one of the dangers in this kind of pass, but you have to be prepared for it. But both teams have flirted with turnovers early in this ball game. Finally, on that play, Herschel Walker commits the first. Let's see what Birmingham can do.
The Birmingham defense, having come away with the football on the turnover, they lead the league in takeaways. And the offense now will go to work from the 31. Robin Earl is lined up in the backfield as the blocking back. Jim Smith yet to see the ball today, and so is Joey Jones. A Stout goes back to throw it and throws it short and underneath, and Smith was the intended receiver. But again, it was a poor pass by Cliff Stout.
There was a poor pass by Cliff. He seemed to pull the string on that like it was a yo-yo. He just pulled the string on it too soon, and the ball died on him. Jimmy Smith was hooking it up at about the 40-yard line, and the ball was thrown wide. He couldn't make the adjustment.
Jimmy had a big week against Tampa Bay. Despite the loss, big game, he caught 11 balls against the Bandits. And his USFL career, he has 223 catches, and they've been worth 30 touchdowns. Joe Cribbs pops out of there. The penalty flag goes soaring into the air. He picked up about 8 yards on the carry, but let's see about the yellow flag. I didn't give you the rest of the officials. The umpire's Tom Myers. Jeff Bergman's the head linesman. Tony Viteri is the line judge. Bill Richardson, the back judge. John Everett, the side judge, and Michael Mathis.
Defense.
And the referee is Ted Humphrey. And he just pointed at the red-shirted generals and draws a growl from Walt.
They're going to take the penalty.
Well, it'll be 1st and 5 instead of 2nd and 2.
Yep. 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5.
Yeah.
So 3rd and 2. Earl comes back in now, and Coles will come out. They're alternating and probably bringing plays as well, or at least suggested plays.
Yeah, Raleigh is calling the plays, and he gives them to Cliff. And if Cliff comes out and sees the wrong defense for that particular play, he'll call an audible and change it.
Stop throwing. Drilled it, and it's incomplete. Pass intended for Ken Toller. Hooking back into the middle, and Stout burned it in there, but he couldn't pull it down. That acceptance of that penalty wiped out Joe Cribbs, because Joe would have had 1,002 yards on that 8-yard pickup, but instead he's still got work to do to get to 1,000 this year.
And with that incomplete pass, one that should have been caught by Toller, it sets up a 3rd and 5 situation as opposed to 3rd and 2 had they not accepted the penalty.
Back.
So everything in that one play kind of went bad for the Stallions.
One time.
Give it to Cribbs. Joe gets loose outside and will have a first down. How about a face mask call, Joe says as he comes up, and he's right, because Kenny Johnson, number 32, had him with a mask as he took him down, but no call.
Joe Cribbs, and we'll watch it on the replay, looks like he's going to head for the sideline and step out of bounds. And that's his 8th carry today for 35 yards, which gives him 1,003 on the season. But he ducks underneath, and Johnson just reaches out and grabs the face mask. Now, it's inadvertent, but there it is nonetheless. Official apparently just didn't see it.
He was right there. First down from the 45, Cliff Stout. Well, he pulled it down, and he quit looking early for a receiver. He had Jones going deep, but Joey was not available because Kerry Justin was shadowing him all the way.
Another USFL game is being played this afternoon.
Cribbs going over the 1,000-yard mark and rushing this year on that last carry, his 2nd straight season. Not the biggest back in the world. He's only 5'11", 195 pounds, but he's what you would describe as a little scat back. He's got the quick moves, the quick feet. Looks like on that last running play, he'll take the course to go out of bounds. He turns it upfield, always picking up the extra yards.
Second down and 6 from the 49. Cribbs is hit as he gets the ball. Number 71, Woodland, penetrated and semi-tripped him, and then John Joyce put him down. So they're looking at 3rd down and somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 yards, about 5.5.
One of the things Raleigh wanted to do in this ballgame, Keith, was to get out to the early lead. If he had the lead in this ballgame, it would just force the New Jersey Generals to have to put the ball in the air, and that's, of course, not what they want to do. New Jersey wants to run the football. Then his defense would have a chance of putting their ears back and really putting pressure on that offensive team. Right now, they're behind by 3 points.
And they've just spent a timeout. And both coaches, in the case of New Jersey, it's obvious why they run the ball more than most other teams. But Raleigh Dodge is of the philosophy that the safest way to move the football is on the ground. And he's trying. The Birmingham Stallions with 10:47 to go in the first half. All short of midfield. They're looking at 3rd, 5.5. Stout getting some heat. Down he goes. Sacked back all the way at the 38. And fighting his way in is Frank Mathias, the nose man.
Frank Mathias, the man who was flagged for the fight on the opening kickoff, now channeling all that aggression and energy in the right place. He takes a great angle straight up the middle, just fighting his way between the center and the guard to reach Cliff Stout. Cliff had no time to look downfield, where he did have an open receiver, Keith.
Danny Knight deep. Bob Parsons to punt. No pressure. Bobby gets it out of there. High hanger. He really hangs it up there. And the wind plays tricks with it. That ball hit him on the foot. And a dive for it. Birmingham had it bounce right up into a man's hand. And New Jersey is going to come up with a ball. Just a sure shooting. It hit him on the foot. It was a live ball. And Birmingham just either didn't realize it, or the man that had the chance at it couldn't control it. A 35-yard punt. Could have been a big break for them, but I think Joe Bach is the man who covered it for New Jersey.
Now watch here, it just comes down and hits him right there on the toe. It comes right past number 26, and that's David Evans, who's covering on the kick. And then it starts to bounce around. Number 65, Buck, has a chance to pick it up, but he doesn't hang on to the football. He should have just fallen on top of it. Danny Knight makes a mistake of getting this close to the ball. If he's not going to catch it, get away from it. And it hits him right on the foot.
Well, it was the kind of a punt where it got up into the wind. It didn't have any rotation on it, and it just fell straight down. So the Generals dodge one here. Another look at what was almost disaster as that ball nicks Knight on the foot, comes bouncing upfield. One man seemed to have it for Birmingham, but Knight, seeing the ball loose, stayed after it and came up with it. And the Generals go first down from near their own 33, leading by a score of 3-0 with 10 minutes to go in the first half. Reeves gives to Walker, and Herschel is hit. About a yard pickup on the play as Ken Kelly, the weak side linebacker, once again is in on the play.
As soon as the ball was snapped, Keith, Ken Kelly came charging in from his outside linebacker position. The ball was going away from him, but he took a good angle. Then Herschel stopped to cut back to the inside. Kelly was right there to make the tackle. That's the kind of defensive line play and linebacking play you have to have, again, as I said earlier, to stop Herschel Walker in the backfield.
Second and 9, Reeves bootlegs it out. Gets it away for Collins, and it is incomplete. Collins arguing that his progress downfield was impeded by Dennis Woodbury, but no call on that. I think if Reeves had been able to get that block on that side, he probably would have pulled the ball down and run with it, because I remember him at Texas Tech when he played in college ball, ran the veer offense, and he could haul it.
Reeves was darn lucky that Dave Purifoy, number 75, or that was number 70, Malcolm Taylor, was rushing on that last play, Keith, took an inside angle. Yeah. He had a bead on him and was about to lay him, and Reeves bought an extra second when he took the poor angle.
On 3rd and 9, Reeves' pass is intercepted off the hands of Collins and bounces right into the hands of Woodbury, and the Generals have turned it over for a second time.
Number 24, Keith, Chuck Clanton, the man who came to this ball game with 16 interceptions, is down on the field right now at about the 30-yard line. I don't know how he got hurt, but I saw him just lying there.
He was banged up previously when he got tangled up with Broughton and took a tumble. He came down hard on his left shoulder and arm, and he was trying to help his partner out here on this play, I think, and got run over again.
We'll take a look at it. Receivers always try not to tip the ball up in the air. You see right there, Collins is falling down. That's about the best he could do. Now the ball is being returned, and there's Clanton. Someone just rolled over him. Looked like Taylor, Malcolm Taylor, number 70, and falling down, just rolled into his legs. And when that happens, usually it's an ankle or knee injury, Keith, because your foot gets trapped and puts all the strain on the ligaments. That's how Freddie Gilbert last week was hurt in their game, and he was underneath the knife for arthroscopic surgery. We'll take another look at it right here. Number 24, Chuck Clanton, is the man we're talking about. There's number 70, Malcolm Taylor. You see right there, he rolls, and he just catches the left leg of Chucky Clanton right there. That will be a tremendous loss to this team, Keith, coming into the playoffs.
It is a first down on the turnover for Birmingham at the New Jersey 31. 3-0. Generals lead. 8:50 to go first half. Cliffs out, rolls and looks. Throws back the other way, and Jim Smith's there. Jimmy's got a first down. Fumbles the football. And Gregory Johnson picks it up. So the Generals turn it over, and Birmingham returns the favor. Well, they had 5 turnovers, 9 penalties, and 2 missed field goals to lose at Tampa Bay last week. And I don't know what causes that. Concentration? Who knows? Effort?
I think part of it's the effort. Jimmy makes a real good move right here on number 25, John Preston, to go up inside.
Just dropped it.
And he had the ball in the one hand, Keith, and I think that's why he lost the football. It's hot out there. It's real humid, very sweaty. Look at the way he's holding it. He's just got it cupped in the one hand. If he brings the ball back into his body, he stands a better chance of not fumbling it. Anyway, it's a turnover and costly. Real tough for Jimmy, Keith. He's a team leader. Teammates depend on him to come up with some big plays, and he's not at all happy with himself. He's made mistakes before. He knows he just has to forget about it, come back and play. And number 24, Chuck Clanton, is back in the ball game. The report is that he was kicked in the shins, so that's not too serious.
The ball is just outside the 11-yard line for New Jersey. Birmingham turns it over for the second time, and Reeves gives to Walker. All the yardage on the ground, the 54 yards of it, and now whatever that is, for New Jersey, gained by Herschel Walker. And on that play, looks like he's picked up something close to 8 yards. Chuck Clanton in on the play, along with Doug Smith.
We'll take a look at this from behind. He gets a real good block here by Maurice Carthen, the man who's been doing it all year long, as he comes up, makes a block on number 22, David Dumars. Now watch Herschel, he turns upfield, and Chuck Clanton comes in and says, well, I might as well get back in the ball game as fast as I can. Somewhat questionable as to whether Herschel was out of bounds or not when this contact was made.
Got 7 yards, now has 61 in the game on 12 carries. Second down, 3.
136. 136.
An audible going here, Keith.
Out to about the 22. That's close to a first down.
This has to be a physical football game. I was talking with Mike Perkle, number 69, the right end for the Birmingham Stallions, about this game and asking him what he felt the defense would have to do to stop Herschel Walker. And he's got this big full beard and kind of looks like a mountain man, Keith. He just turned and looked at me and he said, tackle and hit. Just that simple.
Walker on 2 carries, getting the first down there, moving the ball out to the 22 for the Generals. Got it again. This time, that's pretty good defensive play by Woodbury. Woodbury, coming in, goes underneath the block of Carthen and got a foot. That's all he got, but that was enough. And Baltimore out to a 17-0 lead over Tampa Bay in the second quarter.
They called it a leg whip, Keith. Woodbury tried to submarine and go in there. Herschel was cutting upfield, getting away from him. He just flicked that leg and caught Herschel, not in a very stable position to bring him down. One of the luckiest tackles you'll ever get on Herschel Walker.
Second down, 9. Gain was 1.
236. Yeah. 236.
Got it again in the middle. Not much, maybe a yard. Cliff Stout, who's been struggling today now with Tim Brent.
Cliff, it looks like the things that you've been doing all year are there, but it looks like a lot of frustration right now on the Birmingham sideline.
Well, it's been kind of sloppy both ways so far. The ball's been on the ground more than anybody's hand all day. There's a lot of fumbles out there, and we just got to find the right things. We're mixing it up pretty well, but drop ball here, fumble there, sack here, and it's really screwing us up. So we've got to find the right answer and just calm down. I think both teams are a little tight right now.
Very quickly, why all the turnovers last week and this week?
I wish I knew.
All right, Keith.
Third down and 8 for New Jersey. Walker bobbled it for a moment. That took away the bobble ball took away his ability to read, and consequently made the play relatively simple for the defense.
Instead of looking downfield to see the opening and see which direction he wanted to run in, he had to concentrate on bringing that ball back in. Very often on a pitch play, the running back never really looks at the football all the way into his hand. He sees it, anticipates it, puts it there, and then keeps running, reads while he's running. That time Herschel Walker couldn't do it.
Partridge into punt for the first time today, and deep is Thad McFadden for Birmingham. Rick has no pressure. High hanger. That's going to force a fair catch call by McFadden. And there's a little daylight between the ball and the hands on that one. The ball is up around the 37 after a 38-yard punt at 5:12 to go in the first half. And the Generals leading by 3.
White 38! White 38!
Out goes to Cribbs. And Cribbs goes for 1 yard, and that'll just about do it.
James Lockett, number 96, making the tackle. And number 25, John Preston, the designated hitman of the New Jersey General secondary, came in and laid his lick on Joe Cribbs.
Give him 2 yards on the carry. It'll be second down and 8. We're at 4.5 minutes to go first half. New Jersey 3-0. They've got Earl in the backfield again. And he slips out of the backfield. Stout can't find anybody though, and he's finally put down, and the man that did most of the damage was Mike Weddington. Byrne was there, but it was Weddington that got to him first and put him down.
Cliff standing very strong and tight in the pocket. The defensive line just charging straight ahead. Collapsed the pocket from the outside. All around Cliff. He had no place to go. There was no alley or lane up the middle in which he could take off and run. And that's what he likes to do. That time, Cliff should have really just thrown the ball out of bounds, but it's easy for me to say sitting high above the field.
Yeah.
3rd and 14. Yep, man on the left side. Bill McKinley stood up too soon. That's a false start. It'll cost him 5.
False start. Offense, number 73, still 3rd down.
They're without Buddy Adelette, who is a horse in that offensive front. Stands up here, and it's over right there.
Yep. Number 52, Mike Weddington, the linebacker, was in a down position. Charged as if he was coming across, and he's allowed to do that. Did not make contact. And then number 73, Bill McKinley, jumped, so it's against the offense.
Need about 20 yards on 3rd down. Stout hums it. That's got to get a flag, doesn't it?
It should get a flag. It looked like he was tackled before the ball even got there. Number 26, Kerry Justin, was the man covering on the play. Number 28, Ross Armstrong, was coming up. It was Ken Tola, number 85. It was a low pass. Tola was going down for an effort at making a catch of this particular pass. And it just looked like he was tackled. We'll take another look here. He'll be coming from the left of your screen.
You can't see it on that one.
But right there.
Yeah, he's knocked down already.
Yeah, he's down.
Huh.
Now, unless the official felt he tripped Keith before contact was made.
Pressure on Parsons. Bob gets it out of there. Danny Knight takes it back at the 36. And this time he holds on to the ball. He had muffed 2 previous punt returns. This time Danny hangs on. 38-yard punt at 3:27 to go in the first half. And a 3-0 ball game, New Jersey.
That was a low kick, Keith. Didn't have a lot of time to it. It was only up in the air about 3.3 seconds. And
Gregory Johnson, wasn't it? Came flying in there. He had to get rid of it in a hurry.
Yes, he did. Allows your team to not... The ball is in the air for that short a period of time. The coverage team can't get down there, and it creates that cushion.
No comment on that. 43-yard line for the Generals. And Reeves back to throw on first down. Gets it off down the middle, and it's captured by Broughton, and Walter is knocked down by David Evans at the 39-yard line of Birmingham.
Chuck Clanton came running up, missed the tackle. But when Evans came up, he grabbed Broughton, slammed him to the ground, and when he slammed him, his head just bounced on this artificial surface, Keith, like it was a basketball. So I think right now he's a little dazed.
A little woozy, yeah. What town are you in, Walter? I don't know.
Chicago. We'll take another look right here. Reeves getting lots of time. I don't think anyone expected him to throw this much. You see it goes right by Clanton. Now watch him as he slammed down. Watch his head bounce right there on the surface. And we've got a dead pigeon on the field almost.
I don't like the artificial surface for that very reason as much as anything.
That reason, the wear and tear on the joints.
Other problem that bothers me about it is you've got such big people who can all run fast, and they get such traction, and when they collide, something gives.
We'll take another look. There have been several surveys taken by the NFL and management and I think the Players Association about artificial surfaces and the long-term and short-term effect on players. And from the best of my knowledge, they said that the artificial surface has kind of a neutral effect on it, Keith, and I find it difficult to believe.
I think it's called arthritis.
Call me when I'm 45. I might have it.
Walker outside. Clinton, the safety. The free safety was coming on the middle, and Walker just simply outran him to get around to the corner. Now, Raleigh Dotch did say, did he not, in the interview with Tim Brandt when we started the game, that they wanted, did he say he wanted to send Walker to the boundary?
Yeah, when he said send him to the boundary, it just means that he wants to keep him running side to side before he can turn up the field. They don't want him to get his shoulder square to the goal line where he's running for positive yards, but just make him run laterally until someone can come up and make the tackle.
2nd down and 8. He gained 8 on that carry to the boundary. Going to throw it. Nope. Looked like he was going to throw the ball. And in the meantime, the play is strung out to the sidelines, and there's not much to it. In fact, they're going to wind up losing a yard or so.
You have to send Herschel Walker to acting school to run that play, Keith. When you get the football and you have the option pass as a running back, you don't get it and right away put it in your hands so you can throw it. You take it just like you're going to run the football, start running to the sideline, then you stop at a moment if you have a receiver open. Only if you have a guy open. You see right there, he's fumbling with the ball, trying to get it set as if he's going to pass. He just tucked it away, ran to the sideline or to the numbers, then found the open receiver, stopped, set, and threw the football. They'd be much more successful.
3rd down and a short 5 now after the loss. Give to Carthen. And Maurice is short of the first down, dropped at the 31, leaves him 2 yards short, and in comes Ruzek. Crowd hooting at the call a little. They'd rather see them go, but they're not coaching. And we're coming down to the 2-minute mark right here. New Jersey called the timeout at 2:02, which means now that they'll take this time to talk, and there will be an additional timeout coming at the 2-minute mark, which will not be charged to anybody. Now Walt and the people on the sidelines discussing it to see whether or not they'll go ahead with the kick. You've got 2:02 to go, and they're going to stay with the field goal. That's been the only scoring in the game, a 20-yarder by Ruzek to make it 3-0, and this time he's going from 48 yards, his longest of the year, 52. Partridge, the punter, holds. Russ Mitchell snaps. Plenty of leg, and it's good.
A good decision by Walt Michaels to go for it, Keith. You're going against the #1 defensive team in the league. If they play the kind of football that gave them those statistics, then you're not going to have a lot of scoring opportunities in any one ball game. If you have the confidence in your kicker and you think he can go the distance in the field, on the field for a field goal, then you give him the shot. They now have a 6-point lead just based on that.
Let's see what they elect to do here with the kickoff, whether or not they'll go ahead and hit it high, or whether or not Ruzek will elect to bounce it downfield. Ruzek on a pretty good roll now, Swanee. He's at 5 out of 5 the last 2 games. Douglas has arrived from the Flutie clan of Natick. How are you, sir? We'll have a visit with him at halftime. And we'll also have Sam Donaldson bringing you up to date on the troubles of the world at halftime. And goodness knows we've got them, don't we?
Well, they say there are 3 things you don't talk about: marriage, religion, and politics. And let's not bring up too much politics, as I get mad every time I think about it.
Yeah, it's just simple. Human dignity is being destroyed. Ruzek puts it down on the tee at the 35 at 1:57 to go in the first half, and the Generals leading 6-0. Birmingham's biggest problem, turnovers in the ball game so far. That's what beat them last week. Ruzek hits it high and hooks it toward the corner, and it is taken there by McFadden. And not a whole lot for McFadden as he comes up around the 18.
Well, McFadden made one of the errors that kickoff returners do. You were standing on the sidelines. You should have let that one go. Might have gotten a better kick, at least from further away the second time around. Then when he came into an area where there was going to be contact, he slowed himself down, braced himself for the contact, instead of charging through it, trying to pick up the extra yards.
Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining now. And the clock setting at 1:51 to go in the first half. They played the first quarter before
they broke a sweat.
Coffee got cold, and now the second quarter has taken a little longer. From the 18, Stout to throw. Cliff goes with it down the middle for Mason, the tight end. Mason dragging across the middle. And the ball is slapped away.
Number 25, John Preston, strong safety, is the man who was shadowing him on the play as the ball was thrown.
Cliff not having a good day. 2 out of 7 for 36 yards. The New Jersey defensive front of Lockett, Byrne, and Woodland. Lockett and Byrne both stand in there at 6'4". And even though Stout himself is 6'4", Cliff's having his problems of picking people because the secondary people are playing them tough. They're getting a good chuck coming off the snap of the ball. Trips in the middle. And Joe to the 21. When I look at these two coaches, Swanee, I'm sort of reminded of an old credo from Senator Sam Irving, that they both make up their mind by thunder, this is what we're going to do. And it's like that old Scotch Presbyterian line, Lord, pray I be right, for right or wrong, I'm not going to change my mind.
Yeah, that's right.
They're not changing their minds yet.
I got some thin leather back there in their britches from living with those decisions.
Birmingham spends the timeout here at 1:19 to go in the first half. They have 1 remaining, and they trail in the ball game by 6-0. Jacksonville is now out to a 21-3 lead over the Denver Gold. And I don't know, Mouse Maver and his story we gave you earlier that Baltimore is beating Tampa Bay 17-0. And that will have impact. The Baltimore-Tampa Bay game will have impact on where those two teams go for the playoffs. Jacksonville's third touchdown was a 9-yarder, Ed Luther to Rozier, so Mike has 3 TDs for the day, running for 2 and catching for 1. We're going to do the Saturday ball game, I'm told, in Birmingham. We don't know exactly who's going to play them yet. It could be Tampa Bay or it could be Baltimore. Sunday games, you'll have the Oakland Invaders, who right now have the best record, depending on what happens in this game and what happens tomorrow night in their game in Houston. The Invaders will be a host team on Sunday, and so will the Memphis Showboats off their win of 10 last night over Arizona. The Generals will be playing on Monday night at home because the Grand Prix race is run in the parking lot here at the Meadowlands on Sunday. It is 3rd and 7. Long 7. As Stout drops and goes high with it. And it's over the head of the intended receiver, Ken Toller. So he tried to hook up with his tallest wide receiver, Toller, on the sidelines and couldn't do it. And the clock stops at 1:15 to play in the first half as Parsons comes in to punt. Now the Generals are bound to get field position out of this if Knight handles the ball.
That's Parsons, a big question mark.
Yeah. Parsons 3 punts, 50, 35, and 38. The Generals will have 2 timeouts. It's a low spinning kick. It's long. Knight gathered his in at the 28. There's a clip upfield, but I don't see a flag.
That was the second time a Birmingham player, Keith, has been clipped or held on a punt, and the officials just haven't caught it. That time the ball was up in the air for 4.09 seconds, Keith, and a low line drive kind of a kick. 4 seconds is a decent hang time, but the long distance of the punt spaces the returner out between his people. Now
Here's
watch
your clip
here.
right there.
There's the clip right there on number 53, but no one calls it.
51-yarder by Parsons. The Generals have the ball. 1:02 to go. Ball is on their own 40. First down.
Single.
Reeves back to throw. down. He threw that ball so hard, I think he knocked Sam down.
Sam was low, just slightly off balance when he made that catch. But let's take a look at Herschel. He's not in on this play as far as a pass receiver he's blocking. Oh. They're in the hurry-up offense. Missed that play. Sorry about that.
Incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass thrown to number 80, Danny Knight. We'll watch number 34, Herschel, as he gets held up. It looks like he's going to sneak out right there. Somebody just reached back and grabbed him for a second. And tripping him and everything else. Number 69 is Mike Perkle. He comes over and trips him up just a bit.
It's 3rd and 3 from the 47. Reeves steps away and throws it in the crowd.
75, Dave Purefoy had him around the calves, trying to bring him down. Reeves just spun on him, threw it out of bounds.
Kelvin Bryant has just run 66 yards to make it a halftime score of 24-7 Baltimore over Tampa Bay in their game.
Hello. Tampa had an upset win over Birmingham last week. And they might just be a little slightly down.
33 seconds to go now as Partridge comes in to punt. Generals unable to do anything with that particular possession. Birmingham now with only one timeout. Partridge gets it away, and there's a penalty flag. Hold on. They're going to get a roughing the kicker call right here on Dave Purefoy. Dave came blowing in. I don't think he tipped it, did he?
Personal foul. Running into the kicker.
Yeah.
Defense number 75. First down.
We'll have to look at this. I saw one player fly underneath this leg right here. And watch it. He flies under. Now, where's Purefoy? He's stumbling right here. Yeah, he does.
Hit him before he got his foot down.
Yeah. Rolls right into the back of him. For a minute there, I saw the tail end of it, Keith. I thought that Dave Purefoy was just lying on the ground, and Partridge just kind of backed up and fell over him. But he makes a contact while that leg is still up in the air.
That's a break for the Generals. The ball moves over to the Birmingham 48. And it's a first down with 24 seconds to play. So they pick up another 20 here. And they're in Ruzek's range.
Walt Michaels, being more of a conservative coach, is more likely to go for the 20 yards to get in field goal range as opposed to trying to throw a couple of passes to get into the end zone very quickly.
Run it. Reeves had a chance to run the ball. He had about 15, 18 yards of open space in front of him, but being committed to throw it, he was still looking, and the defense got him from behind him, and it's 18 seconds to go now as the Generals call a timeout.
That was number 99, Ron Padgett, who came in for Dave Purefoy. We'll get credit for the sack. I assume he'll call it a sack.
When you have been taught to stay in the pocket, throw the ball, and look the field, you can eventually move away from the instinctiveness of running the ball, as Doug might have done were he there. I'm pretty sure he'd have taken off with it. Whereas Ron Reeves, on the other hand, through his collegiate career, basically.
Would you? Yeah, Doug says, sure, I'd run the football. Of course, if Doug were in there, they're probably rolling out anyway.
The ball is right at midfield. It is second down and 12, 18 seconds to play in the first half, and 6-0 New Jersey. They're trying to move it down where Ruzek can have a reasonable chance of making it 9-0. The winner of this ball game will be the Eastern Conference champion and will be guaranteed home field through the playoffs. Of course, the championship game, July 14, is here. The Generals have won 8 in a row at home this season. Reeves dumps it for Walker. Bad. Well, he was under pressure. There's no question about it. And probably somebody had a hold of him about the time he was throwing the ball. But he had Walker out there where Herschel might have gobbled up some real estate quick. Fourth down, and Reeves is still on the field. New Jersey with a timeout to work with. They're going to try to go for something here. He only got 7 seconds. Maybe they can get off a play, but Reeves has not been releasing the ball that quickly.
Well, I think they're just out of the range of Ruzek at this point.
I think so. They go in the middle with Carthen. He's got the first down, and that stops the clock at 3 seconds.
Now they bring on Roger.
I heard the gun go off.
There's 3 seconds. The scoreboard.
Either that or they shot him. I don't know which.
USC versus Notre Dame.
Surge was sufficient because he had to get the ball to the 38, maybe just over the 38, and it looked from the surge that he was there. But the position of the ball was such that they said nope. Brought out the chains, and sure enough, and Ruzek is dispatched to the clubhouse. So they don't make it, and Birmingham will get one snap. Let's see whether or not they send Joey Jones and Ken Toller and Jim Smith all on a fly. They're all over here together, all three of them, right down to the bottom of the picture. And Stout back. Throws it as far as he can. And it's incomplete. And they wound up all together down here in a bunch with three defensive backs from New Jersey, and there was hardly a chance for anybody to catch the ball. So after the first half, it is 6-0 New Jersey. We'll be back with today's halftime activities after this message and a word from our local station.
All right, halftime entertainment.
Turn now to a young man named Doug Flutie, who came off the campus at Boston College and walked into a whirlpool of pro football. But first off, the physical circumstances. What about the shoulder, Doug?
Well, it's really coming along. I feel good about it. It's coming along as expected. I tried to rush things up. I was hoping for sooner, but it's going to be questionable for next week, the first playoff game. We're going to take an x-ray late in the week and see what happens. Right now, it's healing up. It's in good position, but we just have to wait and see.
I don't remember ever a serious injury before. This is the first bad injury we've ever had, isn't it?
It's the first time I've ever sat out of a ball game, missed a ball game due to injury. You get out there and you feel like you're almost invincible. You're just out there, you're having fun, and all of a sudden an injury comes along. It's something that I never expected to happen to me.
Everybody wants to know, is there a possibility of being gun shy, or are you going to be the same old pirate?
I'll tell you, when I come out the first time, I maybe try to protect it a little bit. You know, I'll try to avoid some hits, but I think as the game goes on, once I get through the first series or so, I think that'll be tucked away somewhere, and I'll just go back to the same old me and start tucking the ball under a little bit.
Since this is a fresh adventure for you, the first time you've ever been hurt bad enough to sit out, maybe you've had time to assess the circumstances for yourself, your impressions of those weeks of pro football.
I enjoyed it. I really did. I sit down now. When I was going through my first few weeks and the whole season, it seemed like everything was a new step, a new challenge for me. And now looking back at it, it was fun. I've enjoyed this season, and especially the position we're in today for a chance for a championship, or for the division championship anyway. And I'm just hoping I can get back and be a part of it for the championship.
One of the great adjustments, and I've heard athletes for more than 30 years say this, Doug, one of the great adjustments you have to make is to assume the burden of being a public figure. In effect, you become a target.
That's true. That's very true. Especially now at the pro level, it becomes more of a target. But to accept the responsibility of being a public figure sometimes is tough. You're out there in the public eye all the time. Every time you're in public, you have to watch yourself, watch what you're doing, and you're in demand. And it's tough on your time, on your scheduling, and on yourself. You want to get time to get away and relax, and you can't always do it. And now at the pro level, you have more people that are willing to take the shots at you. Say, okay, you're being paid to play now. You have to perform. And it makes things a little tougher.
Of course, there's the other element, too. When you sign that contract, you, in effect, become a tool. And you really won't have this hit you until your first trade. First time you're ever traded, if you ever are, you suddenly realize, hey, wait, I'm a piece of chattel here.
That's true. You're in this corporation here. It's Mr. Trump's team, and they run it the way they want to. It hit me the first week I was in camp when Brian Sight was up and gone. This is a guy that last year led the team to the playoffs and had an excellent season. And it's welcome to the real world, Doug. This is a profession now, and it's no longer just a game. And I still enjoy it, though, and I'm still playing it as it were a game. But you never know.
One quick comment relative to Herschel Walker.
Something else. Herschel is unbelievable, and today he's having an excellent ball game. I think he's going to break a few in the second half. You got to look for it.
He's something, all right. Doug Flutie, who will be back, we hope, soon. Good luck to you, young men.
Thank you very much.
Score at halftime. The New Jersey Generals leading the Birmingham Stallions 6-0, and we'll check in with the news in just a moment. Let's turn now to a comment from our analyst Lynn Swan about the first half of play and what we might anticipate in the second half.
Well, I thought in the first half that Raleigh Dotch's team was going to have to depend on the pass to get things going because the running game was not working well. They did so, and unfortunately, Cliff Stout is not having a good day. He's been off on some passes. He's had some passes drop, and he's had Jim Smith, his key receiver, fumble the football. The New Jersey Generals have not been playing a great game, but they've been much more consistent. With Herschel Walker running the ball, he has 17 carries and 72 yards. But Ron Reeves is having a better day than Cliff Stout. He's 7 for 15, 90 passes, 90 yards in passing, 1 interception, not really his fault when the ball was tipped. In the second half, both teams are going to have to be much more consistent and eliminate the mistakes and try and gain field position somewhere in this ball game, and probably during their special teams on a punt or a punt return.
It does not appear to me that they're able, the Birmingham, that is, able to clear receivers. There's a lot of clutter in the defensive secondary so far.
They don't seem to be crisp. They're not as accurate as they have been in the past.
Well, that's where we are as we get ready to go to the second half of play. The Birmingham Stallions trailing the New Jersey Generals by a score of 6-0, and we'll be back with the second half of play after this timeout and a word from our local stations. Cliff Stout, number 18, bit of a troubled man at this juncture. His team trailing by 6 points, only 2 for 9 in his passing for a meager 36 yards. That is not a stout performance.
No, it is not. He's done a good job this year of really leading his team. He has to get back in that midseason form this afternoon.
The Generals' defense got a little something to do with it, though, I suspect. This kickoff will go down to Danny Knight. Knight's going to find a hole at the 25 and break it loose. And he hits the chalk at the 41 of Birmingham. There is a penalty flag back upfield.
Danny Knight, the man who has not had the best of days, fielding and returning punts and kickoffs this afternoon, did a very good job of handling that one, bringing it upfield. But by the way people are moving, 58 yards on the return.
Receiving team, number 38, first down.
Clarence Harmon is caught holding and wipes out at least half of that long return by Danny Knight. And so New Jersey, instead of being at the Birmingham 41 for the first offense of the second half, will start instead at the 25.
During halftime, I said the kicking game might be responsible for getting the team's good field position. Both teams have moved the ball well up and down the field from time to time in their first half. That would have given New Jersey their best field position of the afternoon.
Ron Reeves sets him up, and he flexes the tight end Bowers out about 5 yards.
455!
And gives it to Maurice Carthen, who is turned upside down by number 56, Ken Kelly, who's having a big ball game for the Birmingham Stallions.
When you line up, the offense looks at you where you lined up, and they get a pre-read of, or try and anticipate where you're going. That time Kelly lined up as if he was going to stay to the outside. At the last second, he moved inside, got himself set for a good charge, was able to get in under the block and make the tackle.
Walker. And they hem him in pretty well this time. And I would imagine part of the conversation in the Birmingham clubhouse at halftime was, you're letting him get around the corner. The object is to string him out and chase him to the boundary without letting him turn it upfield. That time they did the job.
We'll take another look at it. You have to anticipate the way Herschel Walker has been running through most of the season. He is going to get his fair share of yards. But the incentive here for the defense is to go the entire season without a back gaining 100 yards, especially Herschel Walker.
438! 438!
3rd and 10, Reeves back to throw. Swings it out to Carthen. No place to go. It'll be 4th down. And so the first offensive possession for the New Jersey Generals in the second half is nil.
It's nil. They're backed up. They're at about their, right at the 25-yard line. Now the important part of this drive becomes the kick of number 17, Partridge, to see just what kind of field position he gives the Birmingham Stallions.
McFadden will accept it for Birmingham. He's standing just outside his own 30. Good punt by Partridge. 29, McFadden drops it and is knocked down at the 31. Well, all of the kick receivers today are having a problem holding on to the ball. That was a 45-yard punt and a 1-yard return. The attendance is 44,098, and we're about to see the Birmingham Stallions with their first defensive possession of the second half. Ball just beyond their own 31. Jones and Smith go wide, Stout at quarterback, and it's Joe Cribbs, the lone setback. Robin Earl is the man in motion, the blocking back, and Cribbs running behind Earl slants it up to about the 34 for a pickup of 3.
Joe Cribbs is not happy with the way he was hit by John Preston, number 25. And that is very uncharacteristic for the young man out of Auburn to go after a defensive player after being tackled. Take a look, see just what goes on down there. Cribbs, well, we don't see what happens down there, but he gets up. He knows right away it's Preston he wants. They're two tough little guys out there in the football field.
Now 24-10 Baltimore over Tampa Bay with Jimmy Jordan in at quarterback now for Tampa. It's second down and call it 8 as Stout loads it up for Joey Jones. A foot race downfield. The penalty flag comes out. Interference right there on Kerry Justin. Joey had his eye on the ball, and as Jones slowed down to catch the ball, Justin ran over him.
It's a good move by Jones. He had position on the ball. He's running downfield. He just ran by Justin.
Pass interference. Defense number 26. Automatic first down.
It's a 15-yard penalty.
We'll take a look. You see Justin being turned. Ball's in the air. Now watch the position. Jones has the position. Justin cannot make contact here. Now Jones is slowing down. As he slows down, Justin puts his hands up in the air. He makes the contact, so it's not called intentional pass interference. Draws the penalty.
Yeah.
And poor little Jones is able to get up.
The value of speed.
Yes.
Ball comes out to the 49 for the first down. Cribbs on a quick pop gets to the 49 of New Jersey for 2 yards. That was the 110th Generals penalty of the season. That's the most they've ever had. That's a bunch.
Quite a few.
Third quarter of play. Still 6-0. The Generals.
Hurry up, Cliff. 10 seconds.
Toller and Jones are now the wide people.
34.
And Coles is the blocking back. And stop the throw. Throws for Toller, and Toller curling back underneath. Did he catch it?
What's this official signaling? The ball's going the other way? What is this?
I think he's saying that Toller caught it.
Yes. The problem was there, Keith. Toller caught the ball, and he wanted the officials to know that he did make a good catch. He turned around and put the ball up in the air. He almost had that ball taken away from him because he was not touched down at that time.
Heck of a catch by Toller.
Sure is.
Challenge. Let's take another look. Wall Michaels doesn't believe it.
I don't blame him.
Well, the guy, I haven't seen it either. Here's the replay now.
You can't blame him for making a challenge because it is such a tough call. The ball's thrown.
Oh, he caught it, I guess.
He comes in, the ball's right on his hip. You can't see whether the ball hit the ground or not, but look, see, he turns the ball over right there. Joyce almost comes in and picks it off. We'll take another look. Phil Stout dropping back the pass. He's got plenty of time. There's the throw. Looks like a catch.
Yep, sure does.
I can't call it not a catch. We'll see what the official in the box decides. If it's close,
that decision's
he's supposed
been made.
to.
I don't know.
Mr. Jackson, your comments first.
Well, from what I could see from the replay, I saw no reason to take the catch away from him.
Now that I've simmered on that one a little bit, that was a ridiculous call by the official in the box. The rule is, if it is a close
I think
call,
he feels there, right there, the ball, as he cradled it, touched the ground.
Feeling it and seeing it are two different things.
No, that's right.
If he doesn't see it, he can't reverse the call. The rules state if it's close, you stay with the call of the officials on the field. We can't see the ball from that angle. He's looking at the same replay that we are. Now he's overruling the close calls on the field, and the official in the booth is taking the game away from the players and the officials on the field.
It is third
I don't think that's the intention of the rule when it came into this league.
I would agree with you. If it is not clear-cut, it is not as advertised. It is not supposed to be changed. And the back judge back there came up and called it a good catch.
If you're going to use replay to make those kind of calls, you might as well get 22 robots and put them on the field, because you take away the human qualities of the game, which is to overcome mistakes in the ball game.
3rd and 8. Penalty flag. A Stout takes off, and Hook slides down at the 45.
Stout on the keeper.
Let's see about the penalty flag. I totally agree that when you're not sure or you're not reversing an obvious missed call because of position, leave it alone. That was the way they wrote it. That was the intent of it. They belabored the hell out of it, and now all of a sudden they've changed the call that was not clear-cut.
It was not clear-cut at all.
41-yard line, first down, Birmingham. Biff Stout wanted to go big with it, instead goes short underneath with it for Jim Smith, who comes back to the ball and makes the catch at the 23 of New Jersey.
Joy Jones once again going deep, had coverage over the top by Justin. Jim Smith was trailing underneath. Jim Smith on the inside, number 86. Now you watch, it's almost like he's running with a screen. He's got the option to go deep. Jim cuts it off short. There's a cushion. Preston had floated inside, just doesn't have the speed to get there before the ball.
So the Stallions now making a threat here in the 3rd quarter. Stout gets it away, got Joey Jones, 5-yard line for little Joey. And a 1st and goal for Birmingham. Joey's not all that little. I mean, it's only in perspective. You see him running out there with all those mountainous folks in the trenches, but he's actually 5'10", 165.
Well, number 4 out of Alabama understands his shortcomings, Keith, in this ball game. And once he sees a crowd about to form around he and the ball, wisely covers up the football, protects himself and the ball to give Birmingham a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
So it's turning out not to mean anything.
But that's not the point.
Well, that's true. Joel Cole booms into about the 3. If he'd have gone left instead of veering back into the middle, he might have scored. But if. A Kipling-esque performance in that instance.
Well, they called a pass interference on Preston, number 25. For a moment there, Keith, I said, well, they're giving it back to them. I didn't see the holding. I can't say that for sure. But still, that's not the point. The point is, you don't change the call if it's close.
2nd down and goal from the 3. Stout keeps it. And can't get it to Mason. Mason was being shadowed by Kerry Justin, and Stout, in effect, threw it away.
And Cliff Stout, when he rolled out, he saw nothing but red shirts in front of him. He was giving ground. He knew he couldn't run the football to get back to the line of scrimmage, let alone into the end zone. So he wisely just threw it in the direction of Darrell Mason.
Now, on 3rd down, you'll have Jones and Smith come back. And you'll get the nickel back for New Jersey. Might even have a dime. Let's see how many they've got in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You're going to see a little
6.
double coverage on Jim Smith. He goes the other way.
He just whipped Justin, drove him off, and turned back into the ball, and Stout, with time, hit him right on the numbers.
Experience and the ability of a wide receiver to read the defense and have the right play called. He's running against Justin, a 6-year veteran from the Seattle Seahawks. Jim Smith, a veteran from the Pittsburgh Steelers, 2 people who know how to play the game. But Jim Smith, realizing that Justin would have help on the inside, stayed on the outside, drove it deep where he was one-on-one with Justin, then cut the pattern short, brought it back, but inside the goal line for the score.
Kick is good. And it's 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Birmingham Stallions have finally broken through to score and have taken a 7-6 lead as Jim Smith catches his 20th touchdown pass of the season. That is a USFL record.
And he did it when everybody knew that more than likely the ball was coming his way. A clutch receiver. Jim and Cliff played together for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cliff has a confidence in him in single coverage and double coverage against the zones. In this critical situation, after overcoming a bad call, the Birmingham Stallions score. Good job.
The Birmingham Stallions had 4 first downs in the entire first half. In that possession, they had 5. So the offense came around despite some comedic circumstances. And the high, short kickoff, well, it's not so short. It goes all the way to the 4 to Rod Pegues, the speedster from Oklahoma. And he was a shirt tail away from taking off. Number 53, Thomas Boyd, out of Alabama, caught him by the coattail and brought him down. Otherwise, Pegues might still be running. New Jersey's ball first down at their 34. Jacksonville 21-6 now over the Denver Gold, and Baltimore 31-10 over Tampa Bay, as Fusina has thrown 42 yards to Kelvin Bryant. Look out for the Stars in the playoffs.
13, Jet.
They've been sleeping most of the year. They should come awake soon.
That's right.
458.
Herschel Walker. And they turn him in the middle, and he's got about 4 yards.
I like the way Chuck Clanton, number 24, gave him an extra push. Chuck Clanton is really not a person who can pick up Herschel and slam him down to the ground alone. But when he gets a chance to push Herschel around when he's on one leg or going down, he doesn't miss the opportunity. Very selective about when he takes on Herschel. Watch it here. Herschel's going down. A little push right there.
Second down and 6 for the Generals. 7-6 ball game. Birmingham leads. The game is for the Eastern Conference Championship. Purifoy fights his way through the traffic and brings Walker down for a loss back around the 33-34.
You can make those kind of plays, Keith, when you've got the support of the fast outside linebackers who are pursuing, covering the flow all the way to the sideline. Purifoy has the angle to cut it upfield, and he can catch Herschel Walker. He does so, brings him down. But you can't take many chances like that, Keith, unless you have help that's behind you.
Big Dave in his 12th professional season. Third down and 10.
I call him older than most.
But you do it with respect.
A great deal of distance, too.
Reeves' pass down the middle is picked off. Stolen away by Ted Walton, and he's on his way to the corner. Outruns Reeves. Touchdown, Birmingham. 46-yard pass interception and run for a touchdown by Ted Walton, and just that quickly, the fortunes of this game have swung toward the men in the white.
Birmingham Stallions seem to have been able to put some more emotion back into their ball game. Teddy Walton, who played for a few years for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a former teammate of mine, played for the Arizona Outlaws also, just played deep in that safety position. Read the quarterback, came up, the ball was thrown slightly outside the receiver. He was in the perfect position, and from there on, it was just a sprint to get by Reeves into the end zone.
Lane to Hole and Miller for the extra point, with Joe Bach doing the snapping. It's good. And so Old Mo came out wearing a white shirt here in the third quarter of play. And at 5:37 to go in the third quarter, it's a 14-6 lead for Birmingham on this play.
Old Mo may have got it start, Keith, at the drop of a red flag.
Yep.
Putting that behind us for now, we'll take another look at Teddy Walton. Teddy Walton's a tough physical player, built like a rock. A man who knows how to play the game from a physical standpoint. He's been around long enough to understand what the quarterback is attempting to do. He reads it, scores the touchdown.
And the game, remember, one more time, it is for the Eastern Conference Championship. Eddie Knight and Rod Pegues deep. Knight's return 1 for 33. Pegues 1 for 30. Miller hits it a very high, long kick way back in the end zone, and it's out of the ballpark. So the Generals will take possession at the 20 with 5:32 to go. in the third quarter, and Birmingham 14-6. Quarterfinal round of playoffs next Saturday afternoon at 2:30 Eastern Time. The first game Saturday will be in Birmingham. I can't tell you who the Stallions are going to be playing, and nor can I tell you which game will be on Sunday. Also at 2:30 Eastern Time here on ABC. But it's the meaningful season now.
And we'll be there.
Oh, we'll be there if the body holds out. From the 20, Walker is in the eye, and Herschel's got it. And they're stringing him out. And he comes back the other way, and he turns right into Mike Sameda out of Kansas State. And Big Mike gets an arm about the size of an oak tree limb, and he just cut the legs out from under Herschel.
A few minus yards for Herschel, and you can tell that Herschel feels now that he has to start making things happen. Herschel normally does not run to one sideline and make these kind of moves back across field. He only starts to make those moves when he feels he needs to really get something going. He needs to break one, find a hole, get the offense up and motivated. Right there, he makes a cutback, but again, a lot of people there.
Loss of 6, second down, 16. Reeves gets it off short. Penalty flag intended for Speck. And number 52, Bill Rowe, was tangled up with him, and the call may be against Bill Rowe.
Defense, number 52.
Yep.
First down.
So that helps the Generals get out of an untoward situation.
Speck is number 81, the tight end. There's Rowe coming up. Contact made well before the ball ever got there. The ball may not have been caught. Speck has the ability to go down low and pick this up. As Reeves was throwing the football, number 70, Malcolm Taylor, was in there with an arm on his shoulder, taking some of the steam off that pass.
And the Generals come out to the 29 with the first down. Up the middle, Carthen. We got two big fellows getting tangled up out here, Perko and Doug Mackey. And the brave official steps between them.
Before he throws the flag to break them both up. If I was an official out there, Keith, and I saw two big guys like Mackey and Perko throwing fists at each other. And there we see another reminder of how Herschel's played against Birmingham in 3 previous football games. Instead of trying to break it up, I'd go back about 50 yards, fire a cannon, then throw the yellow flag.
Second down and 8. Got Walker in motion, becomes a receiver down the middle. The pass is caught short of the first down, and a penalty flag is thrown by the line judge.
Someone lined up offsides. Illegal motion.
Illegal motion. Offense. 2 men moving at the same time.
That got Walt's attention because that says lack of concentration.
Yeah, someone, while Herschel Walker was in motion, either repositioned himself, just moved ever so slightly, but moved enough where the official caught it. Second half, he's carried the ball 4 times, minus 6 yards. Mike Sameda, that big tackle, while Herschel Walker was carrying the ball deep in his own backfield, took off about 8.
Ball goes to Walker. They're just ganging up on him now. Those linebackers have got number 34 in mind on every play. That time it was Kelly working with Padgett, the defensive end, that brought him down.
Well, Padgett was being blocked by number 76, Don Maggs, on the play. And actually, Maggs was doing a pretty good job. But as he was blocking the defensive end, Herschel ran and came underneath, allowing the defensive end just to slide off the tackle, off the block, to make the tackle.
3rd and 12. Reeves gets it off. Collins is there. Can't pull it down. Great try by Clarence Collins.
There's a penalty flag, Keith, on the play.
Back at the line of scrimmage. He was tangled up with David Evans.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 55.
Herb Spencer. So Birmingham has made another defensive mistake. That's going to give New Jersey another first down.
Raleigh is very upset at that particular call. 55 is Herb Spencer. Now as Reeves starts to roll out and starts to run, Spencer will come back from his pass coverage position up to rush the quarterback. And there you saw the hit after the ball was released. And now we see the effort of Clarence Collins into his juggling routine after a great effort to get free from Evans.
Well, on 3rd and 12, they had missed the pass, but the roughing the passer call gives the Generals a first down just beyond their own 41. They've had him pinned twice and made mistakes twice. Defensively, they let him get off the hook. Walker, a little misdirection. Puts his head down and comes flying straight ahead, and another penalty flag.
Holding. Offense, number 89.
Sam Bowers gets the ticket this time.
Oh, so the director of athletics for the Essex County Recreation Department was caught that time. Of course, holding is a mandatory class you have to take to be an offensive lineman or a tight end. And just every once in a while you get caught for it. That's okay, Sam. You haven't been caught for most of the year. Keep in mind, with the score 14-6, if New Jersey goes down and scores a touchdown, you have to wonder whether they'll go for the 2, Keith, or not.
It's 1st and 20 right now. Herschel coming left. Is hit by Clinton, slowed by Clinton, and then put down by Perko. Well, Chuck's still risking his body.
No, he's not taking that big a risk, Keith. Watch and look at the kind of tackle that Chuck Clatton, number 24, tries to make on Herschel. He doesn't take him head on. He goes low, doesn't grab him, puts a shoulder into a leg, slows him up, doesn't bring him down. Then the tackle is made.
Ball is out just short of the 35. Herschel is now -3 in the second half. Second and long, Reeves going big with it. Collins, and Clarence has got it, and he can't hold on. Chuck Clinton and Dennis Woodbury were there. Collins had his hands on it, and Clinton took it away from him.
He also had Walter Broughton coming down. Looked like Walter was going towards a post, and I thought Walter might have been more open, Keith. In any case, he goes to Collins. You see Woodbury 21. Collins has the ball, but Woodbury gets his hand in there and strips him of the ball. You see him pulling that right hand down. Then Clanton comes over on the rebound, almost makes the interception. We'll take a look at it. Important for a defensive back, when the receiver already has the ball, don't go for the ball, go for the arm, try and pull his arms away from the ball. He does, and Clanton is right there to try and clean up the action with a possible interception.
It's 3rd and 17. Another long one. And this one is incomplete. It was intended for number 86, Marcus Anderson. And again, it was, now this time the safety in the right corner, David Evans, 26, and Dumars, 22.
The defensive unit, Keith, for Birmingham is coming so close so many times at getting Reeves for a sack. Lots of bodies always around him, but Reeves just steps up and away from him each time.
Rick Partridge for the punt. 2 previous kicks were 38 and 45. Thad McFadden deep for the Stallions. Low snap. Rick handles it all right and gets it off well. McFadden from his 27. Penalty flag as he comes back to about the 33. 39-yard punt for Rick Partridge, but let's see about the flag. Well, we've had enough flags here in this 3rd quarter, haven't we?
Illegal block during the return. Receiving team number 57. First down.
30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Birmingham leading by a score of 14-6. And the Stallions, by the penalty, will be backed up around the 20. The football is placed at the Birmingham 23 after the illegal block penalty. And referee Ted Humphrey winds them up.
See the defense there on the bench. They're doing a great job.
Let the quarter run out, I think, here. They're not going to run a play. They had 30 seconds to go, so they just set everything in motion. The 30-second clock and the game clock are in concert. So after 3 periods of play, it is Birmingham 14, the New Jersey General 6. The USFL on ABC will continue after this message and a word from our local station. A game that means the Eastern Conference title. Birmingham comes up for a first down at their own 23-yard line, and we've got 15 minutes to play. Joe Cribbs bounces outside. Up to about the 25. New Jersey's third quarter offense, and this is where the game has swung. They held the ball for 9 minutes and 48 seconds of the third quarter and produced 0 yards.
You see the rest of the third quarter stats. Time of possession, New Jersey up just about 6 minutes. Overall yardage, total yardage is fairly even. Nobody really dominating this football game, and the keys have been a couple of big plays by the Birmingham Stallions. All their points coming in the third quarter.
Penalty flag as Stout throws complete to Smith. And Smith is up near the first down marker, but that flag came quick.
Jim Smith, penalty flag on the play.
Encroachment, defense, penalty decline, first down.
So it goes as a reception for Jim Smith and a first down for Birmingham just short of the 35.
And if they had accepted the penalty, Jim Smith would have been fighting mad because that would have been one of his receptions taken away from it. Jim's never happy. He can catch 1,000 passes in one afternoon, and he'd come back and figure out where he should have caught 1,001.
Stout to the sideline. Good to Joey Jones at the New Jersey 49. Stout had all the time in the world to look all the way across the field. He had Toller going down the far side and Jones hiding on the near side, and it was Joey.
He had time to throw. He's planted his feet very well. He had Jim Smith underneath, drawing his coverage away from Joey Jones underneath. Jerry Holmes, number 37, was back deep. And Joey Jones just hung on the sideline, had both feet in bounds. Then he just stepped out of bounds.
On first down, it goes to Joe Cribbs, and he slashes in over the right guard and center position, found some daylight, and just kept on going for about 7 yards is what they'll give you.
What has worked so well for Birmingham, Keith, is even though Joe Cribbs and the running game have not been working as well as Riley would like for them to, with Cliff Stout throwing the ball and throwing well, his team has been able to maintain some balance. Here in the second half, they seem to be finding that balance once again. In the first half, they didn't have any at all.
Stout's 5 out of 7 for 61 yards and a touchdown in the second half. Cribbs again. This time he runs into a big person and stops short of the first down.
A big person?
A big person.
James Lockett, number 96, all of 6'4", 260 pounds.
There go the Stars. I'm telling you, look out for them.
The sleeping
It's the
Giants.
one team I wouldn't want to play. They're going to have to play all their games on the road.
They've played 18 of them so far on the road.
Well, that's exactly right. It won't make any difference to them.
Really. Take a timeout. There were 8 seconds left in the 30-second clock.
So rather than absorb the 5-yard penalty and trying to change the call on the play, Stout calls timeout. 12:08 to play in the football game, and the Stallions by 8.
Get ready, New York, for the first title game to come your way in 20 years. The championship of the USFL. Sunday, July 14th, the United States Football League will crown its champion beginning at 8 p.m. at the Meadowlands. This is your chance to see football at its best. Tickets are available at the Meadowlands box office and all Ticketron outlets.
The preceding message was furnished by the United States Football League.
The Birmingham Stallions taking control of this football game in the second half. The defense made one big play, producing a touchdown, and Stout drove him downfield for the other, producing the touchdown on the pass to Jim Smith. And right now they've got something going again. 3rd and 3. They give it to Joe Cribbs, and Joe has the first down as he reaches the 38 of New Jersey.
You see Joe Cribbs going, just that little bit. If I just gotten away from him, I could have broken it all the way. He only got me by a little bit. Small amount, the difference between 5-yard gains and touchdowns.
He really rattles around in there when he runs in traffic. He's a tough 190 pounds.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Play action, and Stout rolls it and gets inside the 30. And a penalty flag. They're going to nail Emmanuel Weaver, I think.
Defense number 69,
Speared him, got his helmet down and stuck the helmet in him. And Ted Humphrey jumped all over it.
I don't know whether that was frustration or a victory lap for Emmanuel Lewis. He jumped up and ran around the whole, Emmanuel Weaver, excuse me, as he ran around the field. We'll take a look. Cliff goes into his
helmet down.
Got his helmet down. His helmet really doesn't hit him that much. It's more like his back gets laid into him because the helmet seemed to be going all the way down towards the field. Emmanuel Weaver.
That is the 8th flag today on New Jersey Generals.
He's only a little bit taller than Emmanuel Lewis, Keith.
The penalty puts the football first down for Birmingham at the New Jersey 15. Scott fumbles the ball. It's still loose, but New Jersey's got it. I thought for a minute Jim Smith might be able to retrieve it.
The ball bounced away from Cliff Stout, but it bounced to his left, and all the action, all the people were inside as he fumbles the snap. Now watch the ball gets kicked out, and there's no one around it. Now the ball will eventually get pushed out towards Jim Smith right here, but he's coming after the ball, reaches out, and grabs it with one hand, and right there's where Jerry Holmes hits him, knocks the ball away from him, and makes the recovery. So it's another fumble and turnover that takes Birmingham away from a great scoring opportunity.
And Raleigh's hot. Well, there's Cliff Stout. Either he pulled away too soon or the snap didn't come in time. The timing was off on the snap. The turnover was Birmingham's second fumble, one by Smith and one by Stout. And the crowd of 44,000 plus now up hooting for the home team to get something going in the second half. From the 14, Reeves will throw on first down. Down the middle for Walter Broughton. He's got it, and he's got the first down at the Birmingham 41.
That turnover now becomes so important, Keith, because had Birmingham been able to score, that might have been a strategic drive in terms of making Walt Michaels change his game plan. But with the turnover and coming away with no points, they come back, play action to Herschel Walker, and quickly go downfield for a 45-yard gain here as Walter Broughton hauls in the pass.
So, old Mo may have changed shirts. From the 41, first down Generals. Big pass from Reeves to Broughton. Walker going no place. They gang up on Herschel and bring him down after a yard. Mike Sameta, first man to get to him. Time remaining in the ball game. New Jersey has won 8 in a row at home this season. 13 straight going back over last year. Birmingham at home, 8-1. They frittered away a chance to lock the Eastern Conference title last week at Tampa Bay with 5 turnovers and 9 penalties, losing 17-14. Second down and 9. Reeves throwing. Good down the middle to Bowers at the 30. Another first down for New Jersey.
The action on the field might be getting hot, but Ron Reeves is remaining cool, standing tight in the pocket, pressure all around him. The game now has shifted as Herschel Walker is not having a big day, and it's now shifted to the arm of Ron Reeves, and he is responding on this drive, Keith.
Yeah, but if he has some success, it'll open up Herschel.
It will.
They go to the up man, Carthen, and Maurice Carthen hammers across the 20 and may have another first down for New Jersey.
Bill Rowe, number 52, Chuck Clanton combined to make the stop after a couple of really good passes. It may have already opened up the running game. Quick play inside, the big hole the offensive line opens for Carthen right there. We haven't seen a hole that big, Keith, all afternoon for any of the New Jersey Generals.
They're just short of the first down on 2nd and a half a yard. Reeves looking to put some points on the board. Pulls it down and dives inside the 15. He's down. No fumble.
No.
Oh, he didn't. He called it a fumble. Well, here comes the red flag.
The New Jersey General players are hot. The official made the call. And the way he's standing there, he is very adamant about his call. He feels he made the right call. Right now, they're going to stand with it.
Did the ball come out? The ground, remember, cannot cause a fumble. So let's take a look. Did the ball come loose before he hit the ground?
Look at the way he's holding the ball right there. The ball did come loose before he hit the ground.
He certainly did.
Don't waste your time on the challenge, Walt.
Not Walt. Raleigh. When he was hit there, you see the ball coming out before the elbow hit the ground.
And unfortunately, the ball did not roll out of bounds. And Bill Rowe, number 52, I believe it was right there. Or excuse me, David Dumars, number 22, was the man that came in and made the tackle.
Well, my goodness. That is the 4th New Jersey turnover. There have been 2 interceptions, and now there have been 2 fumbles. They were moving it. They were really moving it. Yeah. So the Birmingham Stallions get a bit of a break here and take over the ball first down at the 16. Stout throws the ball and it is incomplete. And they don't call him in the grasp. And that's what Mike Weddington and Kyle Borland are shouting about back there. They wanted him called in the grasp.
Everybody on the New Jersey bench wanted the same call as they came off the bench, ran down the sideline to voice their opinion. He threw it downfield in the general direction of number 35, Joel Coles. And the fans are all booing here too, Kate. Nobody's happy.
Like Ron Reeves took a whack from the helmet when he went down on his noggin and turned the ball over a while ago. Second down and 10 from the 16. The crowd's into the ball game. Give it to Joe Cribbs. Joe's out to about the 19. Point I made a while ago, Walt doesn't have a red flag.
Well,
he used his third quarter, and Raleigh's the only one holding one now. 6 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the football game, and it's 14-6. Birmingham over New Jersey trying to win the Eastern Conference Championship. Jacksonville in the fourth quarter is 35-6 over Denver. And Rozier scored 4 touchdowns. for Jacksonville. It's 3rd and 7. And Stout walks away as the crowd hoots and hollers.
Stout has not walked away from a single play, and the crowd has been yelling just as loud. Do you know why he walked away that time? And trying to use up the most amount of time he can on the clock, he came up to the ball. The crowd was yelling, looked at the 30-second clock, realized there were only 4 or 5 seconds left in the clock, went back and told the official he couldn't hear. Now he gets another 30 seconds to call the play without wasting a timeout. Still complaining. This is no way to quiet the fans down. The only way you quiet the fans down in a situation like this is to take the snap and get the play going. The official calls a time, stops the ball game, and he will just hold the team at the line of scrimmage until the crowd calms down.
Is not operating. There is no 30-second clock.
When he says there's no 30-second clock and it's not operating, he doesn't mean that it's broken at this point, but he just means you're not going to go by that, I feel. I don't think there's anything wrong, mechanically wrong with the clock.
Well, the only way to quiet him is just go ahead and snap the ball.
Making some substitutions in the lineup. Look like they put in another tight end. Nope. Gerald Mason came into the ball game.
I think this time Ted Humphrey's going to insist he snap the ball.
I think so. He's got 3 wide receivers. He's going to call a play and just stick with it. It's an obvious passing play. 3 wide receivers in. Doesn't mean that they have to pass them.
Cribbs sweeping. And got some daylight out there on the corner and picks up a first down for the Birmingham Stallions.
That should quiet the fans down, Keith.
Up at the 31 of Birmingham now. First down for the Stallions, and the crowd is still in it. 44,098. Inside Joel Cole. And gets a couple of yards. And the clock is running and showing 5:20 to play in the ball game. 14-6, the Birmingham Stallions lead.
Well, Stout that time took the 30-second clock down to the 1-second mark, Keith. Looking back at Joe Cribbs in the backfield, you know, Cliff has got such a great sense of humor and is a cagey person. He was talking to Joe Cribbs as if he was trying to get Joe Cribbs straight, then handed off to Joel Cole.
Second and 8. Goes up to the 36. Got to go just past the 41 to get the first down. They need 5 on 3rd down. And the crowd is hanging right in there. They're not giving him any respite at all. The time now definitely on the side of Birmingham. Right here comes a very big defensive play for New Jersey. Generals had the ball going. Big play to Broughton by Reeves, and then Reeves diving for a first down, lost it. Birmingham recovered it.
5 seconds on the 30-second clock, Keith. The last play, it was at 0 for 2 seconds before the snap.
And Stout walked away again, and this time he's going to charge Birmingham with a timeout. Cliff didn't call the timeout. He walked away from the snap with 2 seconds remaining on the 30-second clock, and Ted Humphrey, the referee, immediately charged him with a timeout. Up the first down. And number 27, Gregory Johnson, as much as anybody, made that play because he turned Cribbs back inside where Lockett could get a hold of him.
That's twice on 3rd and long situations that the Birmingham Stallions have decided to go for a running play as opposed to the pass. And I feel it has something to do with the crowd and the noise they've been making. So the home field is already playing a part in this game, Keith.
Bob Parsons is the punter, and Danny Knight, the deep man. Knight's had a little trouble hanging on to it today. Parsons kicks it very high normally. Spins it out of there. 25 for Knight. Penalty flags are down. And he's up to the 32. 36-yard punt. But look out for an illegal block or a clip.
I think that was John Miller, number 57, the linebacker for the Generals, who's going to be called for clipping. One of what looks like several possibilities from the area that the flags are thrown in.
Illegal block. Receiving team, number 38, during the return. First down.
As you said, though, it's a matter of picking one.
On that play it was. Here's Knight. Here's one clip right there from behind. That's one number 38. There's another one right there by number 57. Well, all you have to do is call one. 2:59 left to play in the ball game. The Stallions lead 14-6.
Coming up on Saturday and Sunday next week, we'll have the first round of the USFL playoffs, and we're waiting for word from the USFL as to what the matchups will be next Saturday and Sunday. There is a game, Houston and Oakland, tomorrow night, completing the regular season. Reeves back to pass, throws it down the middle, good to Walker, and Walker is gang tackled as he comes up to about the 27.
Defense has had an ample amount of time to rest on the sidelines while their offense was out on the field. You see the time there, winding down.
Walker, by quarters in the game, had 26 yards running in the first quarter, 46 in the second, -1 in the third, and so far 0 running in the fourth. So they've handled him. This is Carthen. And Carthen trying to dive ahead to the marker and get the first down. And get out of bounds as well, stopping the clock, and he's got the first down.
2-minute warning now in the ball game.
In the final 2 minutes of each half in the USFL, the clock stops as it does in college football for the change to be moved when a team makes a first down. So that stretches things out just a little bit and can be an advantage to an offensive team. All right, it's first down, New Jersey, just short of the 33. Doug Flutie with the clipboard. Chris Palmer, the quarterback coach, right there on the sidelines with him. Right now, Chris is fussing over Ron Reeves. Walker with the ball. Outside he goes and hit, slowed down, now finally tackled. 55 Spencer able to really get a hold of him, but it was Ted Walton who slowed him down. And while they unpack that sack, the clock will keep on rolling. Walker has 73 yards today, and this, unless he has one big play here, will break his string of 11 straight 100-plus yard games.
The defensive secondary has to play loose not to give up the big pass, but they also have to stay close to the line to watch out for the running of Herschel Walker.
Reeves gets it off. Bowers catches it. It's first down, New Jersey, at their Birmingham 42.
David Evans, the man coming up to make the stop. Offensive line has done a good job all afternoon in giving Ron Reeves ample time, Keith, to throw the football. They did the same thing on that last play, allowed the receivers to get deep downfield.
Back goes Reeves again, lobs it for Collins on the sidelines. He made the catch. Good, just short of the 22, and another first down at 1:15 to play in the ball game.
And with 1:15 to go in the ball game, as we take another look at it, should they score, you have to bet on the fact that Walt Michaels will go for the 2.
Oh, yes.
You see Collins, he goes down the sideline, gets in between the coverage. Very good pass play. Excellent pass by Reeves.
Reeves has hit 6 in a row now. On that one, he touched it. On the previous one to Bowers, he rifled it. Carthen tries the middle, and Bill Rowe meets him head up. And Carthen is able to get to about the 19.
That was the same tack they tried earlier in the fourth quarter, Keith, where they had the 2 quick passes downfield, then they gave it to Carthen, who came up with a big 9-yard gain. This time he stopped at the
Mackey
line.
is hurt, has to hobble off the field, and New Jersey's going to have to call a timeout to get a tackle in the ball game, Tony Osmond. All of a sudden, Doug Mackey went hobbling off the field. The Generals have 2 timeouts remaining. They trail 14-6 with only 57 seconds to play in the game. Again, to reset it, the game is for the Eastern Conference Championship. If Birmingham wins, the next 2 games are at home. They'll be at home for the first one anyway. If New Jersey wins it, then the Generals could be home for 3 straight games. Final score, Baltimore beat Tampa Bay 38-10. And Jacksonville had Denver down 42-6. Second down and 7 from the 19 of Birmingham. Walker, it is Bowers in the end zone. Just a little too high. They had Bowers matched up with the man they wanted. They had him against Ted Walton. Walton at 5'11", and Bowers at 6'4", so they had the mismatch they wanted, but the pass is just a little high.
They had everybody in man-to-man coverage, trying to keep as many people as possible at the line of scrimmage in case they decided to run the ball with Herschel Walker. Teddy Walton is physical, would have a better chance of covering that big man if he played him
out there as a
bump and
receiver.
run.
He's out there wide.
At the top, one-on-one coverage.
Here goes Reeves. They catch him at the 19. He almost popped out of there, and he might have scored if he had been able to get loose. And New Jersey now spends another timeout. And they have 1 remaining, and there are 44 seconds remaining on the clock.
That was number 52, Bill Rowe, who came in on a blitz, who was there to haul Reeves down, stop him from going into the end zone. We've seen him creeping up into that pocket all day long, waiting, taking as much time as possible to throw the football, and standing there, then suddenly he takes off.
Rozier wound up with 4 touchdowns in that ball game. Jacksonville winning it. Luther threw for 370 yards. Well, it's a big finish for them, but
too late.
Too late.
Season and individual tickets are on sale after the game at the advanced ticket windows at Gate B.
Still no word on the matchups for the playoffs. We do know that Oakland, New Jersey, Birmingham, and Memphis will be home teams. May have to wait until that Houston-Oakland game is finished Monday night. It's 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 4 versus 6, and 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, and 4 versus 5. The way it works. 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, 4-5. And they're trying to hold to the integrity of the playoff format, which is standard. Back goes Reeves on 4th down. This could be it. Bowers, no! My goodness, Sam had it on his hands, and the ball got away. David Dumars had run through the ball, and all Sam had to do it was catch it, and he couldn't get a hold of the confounded thing, and it falls away, and Birmingham now is in position to run out the clock, win the game, and win the Eastern Conference Championship. Watch this.
Keith, I was all ready to say, set to say, David Dumars, 22, picks this ball off. It goes right over his arm, hits Bowers in the chest. He doesn't think the ball is going to come in. It's like a net cord coming over the net when you're playing tennis. It just throws your concentration off just that split second, that instant, and you lose the ball. And it hits Sam. He's got a chance to make the catch. You know, his eyes are as big as as a plate, just trying to pull this one in. You can't do it. It bounces away from him.
How frustrating.
Oh, Sam's had a good year. That's no shame in not being able to catch that one.
New Jersey now has just spent the last timeout, and Herschel Walker is going to end the regular season with 2,411 yards on 437 carries and 21 touchdowns.
It's a great season for Herschel. We'll take another look at the play here. 89, Sam Bowers. Tough ball player. Tough ball player. But right here, the ball just bounces off his chest. He's running away from it and just can't get a hand underneath it to pull it in.
Well, he'll commiserate over that one for some time, I suppose.
As we take a look at Herschel Walker with the yards, Keith, and the kind of game that he had here this afternoon in Birmingham, I'd like to try and add some perspective to the comments that Eric Dickerson made in reference to what he did this year. Now, this is not the National Football League, but he played one heck of a season. I think Herschel Walker has a talent where he could gain 2,000 yards, Keith, had he played on the football team in the National Football League with a great offensive line like Eric Dickerson's or a team like the Dallas Cowboys that he was drafted by. He's got that potential.
The clock is run out, and your final score is Walt Michaels and Raleigh Dodge. Walk away, both veterans of the NFL. Your final score is Birmingham 14, the New Jersey Generals 6, and the Stallions are the Eastern Conference champions in the USFL of '85.
All Little Lands Arena box office.
There's your final score. The Birmingham Stallions are the Eastern Conference champions and assured of home field advantage the first two rounds of the playoff. The championship game will be played here at Giant Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, July 14. Two other games played today. The Jacksonville Bulls ran all over the Denver Gold. Denver headed for the playoffs, but it was Jacksonville today, big. 42-6. Big day, 4 touchdowns for Rozier. Ed Luther, 370 yards. The other game today matched Tampa Bay at Baltimore, and the Stars rolling 38-10 over Tampa Bay. And the Stars are going to finish with a 10-7-1 record. And we're waiting still for the USFL to tell us which teams will play where. The quarterfinal round of playoffs will begin next Saturday at 2:30 Eastern Time, and that game you'll see here on ABC will be from Birmingham. We don't know yet about the Sunday game. There is a game to be played yet in the regular season between the Oakland Invaders, the champions of the West, and the Houston Gamblers. That game will be played tomorrow night. But reflecting back on this one, Lynn Swan, strikes me that it was not a polished, doesn't strike me, it's obvious, it was not a polished performance by either team.
Both teams seem to be real tense, real frustrated coming out here. A little uptight for I don't know what reasons. It would seem to be very relaxed, and they should just go after it this afternoon, but they didn't.